All right, thanks everyone. Glad to be here on the call today. I am a cloud solutions architect on data and AI with Microsoft. So happy to share how we have moved along on this journey over the last couple of years and where things are with Fabric and the next gen AI solutions. Okay. So we know over the last couple of years, there has been a lot of discussion in terms of investing in AI for businesses to go forward and do more and more projects with AI, but they are no longer research projects. So one of the companies did a research to see, okay, companies are now investing more on AI, but what is the value they generate? So this company IDC, when they did their research, they found that for every dollar a company invests in AI, it is realizing an average return of $3.5. And that too, the returns are coming very quickly in a span of 14 months. So no longer are these research projects, but very much the projects which companies are seriously investing into. And with Gen AI, if you have watched followed Microsoft for some time, you would see that now in the last 2 years, there is more and more Gen AI integration in our products. The presentation you were just seeing, which Edgar presented, is how Gen AI components have been put into security. But what about analytics? And that's what I'm going to be talking about, right? So there have been some experiences which our customers have been using with the custom Gen AI, trying to put it to work. So most of them have been on enhancing their productivity with things. The mundane tasks they were doing, they are able to automate them. Cost savings and ability to see where their security needs can be addressed by having Gen AI at action. When you are not continually monitoring things, we are able to do that. So these are some real life examples of customers who have used what Microsoft has been putting forward with all these AI implementations on Azure. So now when we are talking about data specifically, data which businesses have been using to run analytics, the two main products which we have put in front are a unified platform for building, testing, deploying, and monitoring your Gen AI applications, because it's not just building. Now you're productionalizing things. You want to manage the performance. How do you do that, right? So we have AI Studio as one of our services, which has come to the forefront to enable you to not only build, but test, deploy, and monitor what is going out in front of users. But then the other platform I want to talk about is Microsoft Fabric. What did we do with Fabric? We not only created a unified data platform for you to bring your data which was sitting in an entire enterprise in different silos. We brought it together, build a framework now, which could be now used to connect to all these AI enablers like AI Studio, working with Copilot Studio. The data is now cleansed, worked, and you're building any copilots. Fabric becomes the foundation here. And why Fabric? Because Fabric is a platform where we have unified different components, different workloads, all within one service, and made it very simple to work with, and that's SaaS service. So no longer do you have to provision different components of a service to get your data moving in, get your data cleansed, build your data governance, try to figure out, okay, the data is in different formats. We've unified everything under one platform with one data foundation layer, which is a standardized open format data sitting in Delta Parquet. And that is the key thing here with Fabric, enabling and connecting and helping you build those Gen AI use cases. So together, we are enhancing data insights, grounding your data, both structured and unstructured, through Fabric. So Fabric becomes that glue which is connecting you to your AI projects. You are able to query or build chat on your data which has been brought into Fabric. You can customize your machine learning models because now you have a standardized enterprise format on which you are doing AI. So OneLake has become the connective tissue on which the generative AI apps are powering your data. Very similar to how OneDrive helped you with all business applications or trying to put all your SharePoint data, everything on OneDrive without having to worry what is behind OneDrive, right? You're no longer mapping your drives to certain servers and putting things. OneDrive made our day-to-day lives simplified, but now with Fabric and having OneLake being that connective tissue where you can put both structured and unstructured data to amplify your AI experiences on one platform. So going ahead on this, like we have 3 experiences where scenarios where we can talk about very convincingly where they are very common use cases which are coming out of Fabric. So AI powered experiences in Fabric. Now that your data has been brought, Fabric is there, structure, you're already working with that data. How to enable very custom applications here on top of the data which is already sitting here in Fabric. But how do you build co-pilots using AI Studio with the data sitting in OneLake, and you use the data science workloads to build your models and help you with building your custom co-pilots? And then also operationalize machine learning. The challenge with any one working on the machine learning side or building models there is they have to do one big task of bringing data at one location and trying to get it ready for your data scientist to work with it. With OneLake, with Fabric, that is already there, right? So 3 different scenarios, very common since Fabric has come out in the open with the unique architecture and what it brings together. So when we talk about specifically AI-powered use cases, what we have in Fabric is every workload in Fabric has AI built in. So we have productivity tools like co-pilots built in with every experience. If you have been working with Data Warehouse, if it took you 5 minutes to figure out, okay, what is the issue with your query? Why is it not working? Now you enable a co-pilot and you see that it is giving you suggestions on fixing those queries. So co-pilot enhanced experience, you're working with real-time data. You no longer have to figure out, okay, what is the query to find anomalies on my data on these variables. All you do is put a natural language query and that comes out with the appropriate SQL, appropriate dashboards for you to do that, to kind of work with it. So huge productivity component with Copilot accelerated experience within Fabric. But then AI-driven insights, now that your structured data is already in OneLake, how can you build an AI expert to kind of, to be able to create something like a chatbot on top of that data and present it to the world outside to use it? AI-driven insights, Power BI Copilot. Now, not only does it help the developers to work with the tool, but to work with copilots, but also on the consumption side, you see a Power BI report. There's a copilot to explain to you what that graph means in a very simplified language. So you can derive AI insights now. That experience is also built in Fabric. And the third is definitely building custom generative AI solutions, because you have direct connectors from AI Studio, AML, Copilot Studio to OneLake. So these are like three different ways where Fabric enables you to connect on to the data sitting in OneLake, right? So Fabric has the data factory, data warehouse, data science, real-time intelligence, Power BI. These copilots, if you haven't tried them, I would say it's really worth a try because it definitely enhances your productivity. You're working with a Spark code, you're stuck rather than trying to figure it out. And the quick way is ask the Copilot, what am I messing up here? And sometimes I have used it a lot, like myself. So there is a quick video I would like to share how much on this Copilot in Fabric, because this Power BI Copilot is already in GA. But I wanted to show you the data warehouse Copilot, one of the experiences to quickly share with you folks. So let's see if I can quickly do that demo here.
In this demo, I will be exploring the capabilities of Fabric Warehouse Copilot. To start off, I have created some tables with no data, as you can see here. Now, to hydrate my tables, I open up my SQL query. I see that my SQL query editor has Copilot, so I asked it to help me out. I simply leave a comment asking Copilot to copy data into all of my tables using one example blob storage link. I am immediately greeted with copy into scripts for each of my tables, where Copilot has automatically adjusted the link for each specific table and also detected the file type correctly without me giving it any additional information. Now I run the query, and ta-da, now I have a warehouse full of data. Now I want to create a view for my tables to help myself understand the data that I'm working with. I see a Copilot button in the ribbon and decide to click it. I see a chat pane appear where I'm able to interact with the Copilot. So I asked it to create a view that aggregates the trip duration, trip distance, and fare amount, and group it by month and year. I want to preview the data in my view afterwards, so I also ask it to query the view after creation so I can see the results. After I submit my question, I see that the Copilot has promptly opened up a new query tab for me and has even provided me a T-SQL script with a step-by-step plan that aggregates my data and even joins my tables together without specifying which tables or columns to use. I decide to run the query, and I see the results of the data that's inside my view. I decided to do some further SQL exploratory analysis and write a query of my own. I try to run the query, but I'm met with an error. I ask Copilot to fix my query, and within just a couple of seconds, it's able to fix my query for me by taking the error message into account and subsequently adds a group by clause. I tried to run the query now, and it works perfectly. Now, to make my query easily understandable for other users who want to consume it, I simply highlight my code and click Explain. Copilot promptly leaves inline code comments for me and explains my query each step of the way. In summary, I was able to use Copilot to help me ingest data, create a view that aggregated data across different tables, and last but not least, explain and fix my queries too. Thank you.
So this is the experience in terms of for us when we try to work with copilots. This was just a data warehousing side of things, but when you look at the quick way you're able to build out your queries, the Copilot greatly helps you there. But the other experience I want to talk to you about is, we have Copilot for real-time intelligence, which was announced 2 months back at Build. So you can generate KQL queries and quickly just communicate in your natural language. And you, like what we say in programming is that the English is the most popular programming language since Gen AI has come, because you just have to say things and the content is generated. So greatly helping with productivity. We talked about this Copilot for data warehouse as well, how it helps you fix your code, chat with Copilot to help you with your queries, so help you with coding faster. So another skill which I want to talk to you about is that a capability which is in public preview right now, but to be able to do custom Q&A on your data. And that's building of AI skills. AI skills is the latest, which we announced here 2 months back. But what we have announced here is like, now that the data is all on one lake, you can build a quick chat with the data. It is basically build an expert with the data you are working with. Imagine like there is an analyst today, a group of analysts. If there are some questions to be asked, the leadership is sending questions to them and they run some queries and give the answers. But how about creating a bot on top of those AI skills, building those AI skills and sharing that AI skills within a Copilot studio, or you're building your own chatbot, because whatever you're building, you're basically creating an expert on the domain, on that division, on that team you're working in. So it's basically an expert on your data where you can ask all sorts of questions, enhance it, and make it available to the team to do a simple Q&A. So when we talk about AI skills, it is really because you have data available, you are doing more. You're being very focused on very specific tables, building that tables or a group of tables, configure the instructions. You try to ask an example question. It is really focused on those set of tables. So very different from an actual Copilot, you find it. This is like an expert on your data, which you're building here, right? So that's, and it is secure and safe, because whatever security has been built at that level, you are kind of honoring that through the service. So I will do a quick a demo here before I close off the call, but this just shows how simple it is to create a bot like this. So what this experience is, you go into your data science workload and you go and create an AI skill which is in public preview. So whenever you go and create that AI skill, it's going to ask you, okay, where is the data located? Is it in a lake house or a data warehouse? So only quick 3 steps to get started. So you pick those sources which you want to build this expert on top of. So now you selected a lake house. It tells you, okay, 2 tables, and you want to ask questions on top of it. You already are now training a bot. How many calls have been made from loyalty card members? The data, what this does the great thing with AI skill is it generates a SQL code. So you see the answers which have been coming, which just showed out that, okay, these are our sources where we are getting these many calls, but you want to go a little more specific here, right? So you say, okay, if somebody asks a question, this is good, but then we need to know who was the most recent person who made the support call, right? So the name comes out, but you see that the query has been generated. You can go and tweak the query. And this is like part of training the query. We have this option on the right side to turn the flag in and out, like, okay, show me the query, because we are right now training this bot. So we told them that, okay, when you give the name of the person, also give other details like loyalty ID, their place of where they're staying. So you keep enhancing, building this bot. So once this bot is fully trained with the kind of queries you have, what you will be able to do is finally see that it is giving you the right results. And once the right results, you have fully validated it, you will be able to publish this bot. And on the right side, where we see that you can give some more notes and giving instructions, basically telling them, okay, when somebody is asking for this is what you need to use. Once your bot is ready, you publish these skill set. This is like an expert. Now you have a URL, you have a public endpoint, and this can be integrated into like your Teams chat, or it can be part of your AI Studio chatbot you're building there, or part of Copilot Studio. So multiple ways to consume this and make this bot available to the leadership to just answer very simple questions, right? So that is what AI skills, the content and what we are trying to do here is going to evolve in terms of where we are headed. But this was a quick demo to show how quick and easy it is to build AI skills into our using Fabric and the components we have here. So next is my last slide, not this. Let me go to our last slide to learn more. Here are, you can enable Fabric trial, you can enable AI Studio, but both of these locations go and try to see what are AI skills, how you use copilots in Fabric, how is AI Studio connected to the framework which Fabric works. So that's where I want to stop. So thanks everybody for listening. Any questions while I'm here I can answer?